Good day, everyone. So once again, we are the tourism warriors from the University of the East Manila. And for today's video, we are going to share some sort of things that we have learned from our prelim, midterms, into finals with our subject, Heritage Tourism. So my name is BJ Balanay.
I am Kendra Micaela Essen from TM5B.
I'm Javin De Los Reyes, UE Tourism student.
I am Sofia Anroco.
I am Christian Cueto.
My name is Angelica Robles.
I am Sofia Nicosi Domingo.
In the first lesson entitled Tourism and Culture, we'll learn the importance of the growing interest of visitors in genuine cultural experiences. And this is to be supported with policies and governance models that benefit all stakeholders while preserving and further promoting the widest possible range of cultural assets and expressions. According to UNWTO, or United Nations World Tourism Organization, cultural tourism is a type of tourism activity in which the visitor's essential motivation is to learn, discover, experience, and consume the tangible and intangible cultural attractions or products in a tourism destination. These attractions or products relate to a set of distinctive material, intellectual, spiritual, and emotional features of a society that encompasses arts and architecture, historical and cultural heritage, culinary heritage, literature, music, creative industries, and the living cultures with their lifestyles, value systems, beliefs, and traditions.
So, importance of intangible cultural heritage. So, the intangible cultural heritage is an important factor in maintaining cultural diversity in the face of growing globalization. So, the importance of it is not the cultural manifestation itself, but rather the wealth of knowledge and skills that is transmitted through it from one generation to the next one. You know, the social and economic value of this transmission of knowledge is relevant for minority groups and for the mainstream social groups within a state. And it is important for developing states as for developed ones.
Cultural or heritage concept of the Philippines. So first, we will talk about what is cultural heritage. So cultural heritage often brings to mind artifacts, paintings, drawings, prints, mosaics, or even sculpture, historical monuments and buildings as well as archaeological sites. In addition to that, cultural heritage is central to protecting our sense of who we are. It gives us an irrefutable connection to the past, to certain social values, beliefs, customs, and traditions that allow us to identify ourselves with others and deepen our sense of unity, belonging, and national pride. Lastly, I am proud to represent that we have 9 sites here in the Philippines that belongs in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Number 1, Mount Hamiguitin Range Wildlife Sanctuary. Number 2, Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva. Number 3, Church of Nuestra de la Señora Asuncion. Number 4, Paway Church. Number 5, Church of San Agustin in Manila. Number 6, Historic City of Bigan. Number 7, Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park. Number 8, Tubataha Reef Natural Park. Number 9, Rice Terraces of Philippines Cordilleras.
UNWTO study on tourism and intangible cultural heritage. In this topic, we have learned that the first study of UNWTO, or the United Nations World Tourism Organization, that the first study of this provides comprehensive baseline research on the links between tourism and intangible cultural heritage. This explores major challenges, risks, and opportunities for tourism development related to ICH while suggesting practical steps on the elaboration, management, and marketing of ICH-based tourism products. Through an extensive compendium of case studies and good practices drawn from across 5 continents, the report offers information on and analysis of government-led actions, public-private partnerships, and community initiatives. It further offers recommendation on fostering responsible and sustainable tourism development through the safeguarding of intangible cultural assets.
Safeguard intangible cultural heritage. Safeguarding means measures aimed at ensuring the viability of the intangible cultural heritage, including the identification, documentation, research, preservation, protection, promotion, enhancement, transmission, particularly through formal and non-formal education, as well as the revitalization of the various aspects of such heritage. I learned about safeguard intangible cultural heritage is we must build greater awareness, especially among the younger generations, of the importance of the intangible cultural heritage and of its safeguarding. The invaluable role of the intangible cultural heritage as a factor in bringing human beings closer together and ensuring exchange and understanding among them.
Investing in future generations. What I learned about that is that investing in human capacities and the sustainable development of less visited areas by providing training on cultural and thematic routes and contributing to intercultural dialogue, international cooperation and peace, and utilizing cultural facilities such as museums to further engage both visitors and residents in local cultures and traditions.
Lesson number 7. Protecting our Filipino heritage. Cultural heritage is central to protecting our sense of who we are. It gives us an irrefutable connection to the past, to certain social values, beliefs, customs, and traditions that allow us to identify ourselves with others and deepen our sense of unity, belonging, and national pride. It is important to protect our cultural heritage because it keeps our integrity as a people. The importance of intangible cultural heritage is not the cultural manifestation itself, but rather the wealth of knowledge and skills that is transmitted through it from one generation to the next generation. So, how can we protect our cultural heritage? First, prevent ourselves and others from scribbling on the wall. Second, participating in the regular cleanliness drives. Third, being a part of the Adopt a Heritage initiative. And lastly, spreading the awareness around about these monuments and their importance.
In Lesson 8 entitled Fostering Sustainable Development, we have learned that the industry is potentially a key driver of socio-economic development, mainly for export revenue generation, infrastructure development, and job creation. However, there is increasing awareness of tourism's adverse consequences, especially its strains on communities and the environment. And to make use of the sector's immense potential, its development must be carefully managed with sustainability goals at its core. Nowadays, travelers are showing increased interest in environmentally and socially responsible forms of tourism, while operators, hotels, and local communities are offering more sustainable services. This evolution is clearly illustrated by the emergence of concepts such as ecotourism, responsible tourism, and green travel. And successfully, there are more than 400 sustainability standards promoting a broad variety of criteria in the areas of the environment, human rights, and labor standards, among others.
So, the Philippines towards sustainable tourism. So, Endowed with rich natural resources, the Philippines can promote more nature-based tourism. Tourism brings in tremendous benefits in the terms of economic stability, especially for small islands or provinces. With the Philippines being an archipelago, many of our islands rely on tourism livelihood. So, the Philippines is a rich natural resources. Number one in marine biodiversity, with the fourth longest coastline in the world. Number 5 in natural flora and fauna, and in all other mineral resources. So, we Filipinos should exert more effort in preserving and enhancing our natural environment and resources, especially the known islands here in the Philippines or the endangered islands here in the Philippines.
Promoting Philippine culture and values. Culture and values in the Philippines is very important and dynamic. Our government helps our country promote its culture, but the people itself did the task about promoting especially the indigenous family in our country. Culture is a multidimensional component of growth as it includes and intersects with different industries and social classes. It is identity of communities where the way of life is the product of their history, their stories, their memories, their knowledge, their values, and their traditions. Values. It is the basis of the choices of individual and characterized as a belief or ideal held by a group or community about what is good or bad, desirable or unwanted.
In this topic, the immovable tangible heritage of the Philippines, since our heritage consists of the places and the things we want to keep and pass on to the next or future generation, immovable tangible heritage we have here in our country is central to the application of convention. The term immovable is used in a juridical sense to mean something that has not been globally displaced from its position in soil, or in other words, something that has permanent links with the architectural framework of its original positions or not moved yet. These, for examples, are architecture, permanent constructions and structures, fixed instruments, stone carvings, wall paintings, iconography, and symbolic representations.
Lesson number 12. Culinary Heritage of the Philippines. Filipino cuisine is composed of the cuisines of more than 100 distinct ethno-linguistic groups found throughout the Philippines archipelago. However, a majority of mainstream Filipino dishes that compose Filipino cuisine are from the cuisines of various ethno-linguistic groups and tribes of the archipelago, including the Ilocano, Pangasinan, Kapampangan, Tagalog, Bicolano, Visayan, which are the Cebuano, Hiligaynon, and Waray, Chavacano, and Maranao ethno-linguistic groups. This style of food making and the food associated with it have evolved over many centuries from their Austronesian origins, shared with Malaysian and Indonesian cuisines, to mixed cuisine of Indian, Chinese, Spanish, and American influences, in line with the majority waves of influence that had enriched the cultures of the archipelago, as well as others adapted to indigenous ingredients and the local palate.
Movable heritage can prompt people to remember experiences and reflect family and community histories. Movable heritage can help migrate communities keep their culture alive and maintain traditions and practices. First, we will talk about movable heritage. So, movable heritage is the term used to define any natural or manufactured object of heritage significance. Movable heritage places, it can also belong to cultural groups, communities, or regions of New Wales. Like other types of heritage, it provides historical information about peoples, experiences, ways of life, and the relationship with the environment. It also helps us to learn about people who may have been left out of the written historical accounts, including whom and community groups, people experiences of migration and settlement are really given a voice in official and administrative histories of government migration policies. So second, we will talk about what is tangible heritage. So tangible heritage refers in general to all the material traces such as archaeological sites, historical monuments, artifacts, and objects that are significant to a community, a nation, or a humanity.
Republic Act Number 10066, or also known as the National Cultural Heritage Act of 2009, this law aims to protect, preserve, conserve, and promote the nation's cultural heritage, its property and histories, and the ethnicity of local communities. It also aims to establish and strengthen cultural institutions and protect cultural workers and ensure their professional development and well-being. Through this law, the state endeavors to create a balanced atmosphere where the historic past coexists in harmony with modern society, and to administer the heritage resources in a spirit of stewardship for the inspiration and benefit of the present and future generations.
And just like heritage, I hope that this video as well must be passed on to the next generation, especially the learnings and the knowledge that you can get from this video. And as an end, I want to encourage everyone to be responsible tourists and to give importance and take a lead in promoting and safeguarding our cultural heritage in our country, because this is our identity and this is what makes who we are as a person.
So don't forget to choose tourism, choose UE Manila.
Thank you.